Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/spookshow. Then go over to morbidlybeautiful.com as we are now part of the Morbidly Beautiful Podcasting Network.
It has been established that persons who have recently died have been returning to life and committing acts of murder.
Have you checked the children?
I want to play a game. The box. You opened it. We came.
Here.
This is the All-American Spook Show.
Hello and welcome to not just a regular edition of the All-American Spook Show podcast. This is the second Annual Spookshow Awards. I know everyone's been waiting all year long, since pretty much exactly this time last year, what could possibly win all the big awards for the year of 2021 to 2022 here on the Spook Show. So now we got those answers today, hopefully.
Yeah.
I think right now, as we sit, some of these things are undecided, so we're going to be debating some of these things. A lot of these categories are just kind of like, in our world, solidified fact, because most of these have already kind of been debated every single week on each episode. So some of them will just be like, all right, well, here it is. This is what won. But some of them are going to kind of, there were some ties that need to be broken. There are various categories that are just kind of like, we're going to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall and see what sticks, see what everybody votes for kind of thing. So we got a lot ahead of us today, so let's go ahead and dive into it. Now, the movies or the categories and everything that we're going to be talking about today, the eligibility period is from episode 75 last year. So it was September, I think, of last year. And it was Caveat, the movie from 2020, which actually came out in 2021. And the eligibility period ends with just this past week's episode 127, The Witch, from 2015. It also includes Crapster Piece Theater 1 through 7. So from the Garbage Pail Kids movie all the way up to the most recent one, Manos, The Hands of Fate. So that's your eligibility period. Now, before we get into it deep here, Will, you weren't on the show last week, or Donnie. Neither one of you were here last week to talk about The Witch. So if you want to, Will, I'll toss to you first if you just want to give your quick thoughts and then your star rating, so we can go ahead and get it on the books.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fine movie. It didn't really scream to me. I mean, it was a slow-paced movie. I mean, obviously, you know, it's building up to the final scene, but I don't know. It just didn't connect with me, I think, the way that it probably connected with y'all. So I went 3 stars.
Donnie, what were your thoughts and rating on it?
Oh, man. You know what? I kind of struggle with period horror, but, you know, this one, yeah, it pretty much kept my attention for the entire time, which is, you know, kind of odd for me in a period horror. But I liked it. I gave it a 3 3/4.
All right, so with those, that brings the consensus score to 3.94, and because Smoke, you gave it 4 3/4 stars, very high praise, and I wasn't too far behind. I gave it 4 1/4. So, yeah. There you go. So if you round up, that's basically 4 stars from the Spook Show crew for The Witch. So obviously we recommend you go check it out. And of course, that will probably be brought back up for the 4th anniversary show on Halloween, to where that's that one time of year where we get a chance to re-rate if we want to. We can go up, go down, or whatever. But after that, whatever our star ratings are, our scores, they lock in after that. Can't change them ever again, basically. So. Yeah, so with that out of the way, so let's go ahead and run through I'm just going to run down the list of movies, because we did a lot this past year.
Yeah. We did more than we did, last year.
By far, we have done more this past year than we have ever done here on the Spook Show. And, I mean, obviously, each year gets bigger and bigger. And this one was no exception. I'll run through the horror movies real fast. So the ones that are being nominated here, as far as horror films are concerned, Caveat from 2020, Hack-O-Lantern, 1988, Halloween Kills, 2021, Hellraiser, 1987, Into the Dark, Pilgrim, 2019, Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984, The Ginger Dead Man, 2005, New Year's Evil, 1980, Malignant, 2021, Valentine, 2001, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2, 1988, Leprechaun 5, In the Hood, 2000, Frankenhooker, 1990, Night of the Living Dead, 1968, Deathgasm, 2015, Phantasm, 1979. A lot of asms there. Session 9, 2001. Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, 1992. You Might Be the Killer, 2018. The Burning, 1981. Never Hike Alone, 2017. Madman, 1981. Summer Camp, 2015. The Evil Dead, 1982. Prey, 2022. The Fly, 1986. Finally, The Witch from 2015. Also, we did Camp Spook Show this past summer, so all the nominees there are You Might Be the Killer, 2018. Meatballs, 1979. The Burning, 1981. Never Hike Alone, 2017. Hot Chili, 1985. Madman, 1981. Ernest Goes to Camp, 1987. Summer Camp, 1979. Summer Camp, 2015. Camp Blood, 2000. Now, of course, we're throwing in the Crapster Piece Theaters there, too.
Yeah.
We started basically 2 new series as far as like sub-series during the year. These both started back in like the spring this year. Cult Corner, and the nominees there are The Warriors from 1979, The Big Lebowski, 1998, Meatballs, 1979, Summer Camp, 1979, and Memento from 2000. And then, of course, a very popular new series we started, Cannon Fodder. Those are basically films from the Canon Films library. Now, we retroactively throw in 10 to Midnight from 1983 and New Year's Evil from 1980 because we did those right at the beginning of this year, but it was before we started the Cannon Fodder series, but we're kind of retroactively throwing them in with the Cannon Fodder movie. So you've got those 2, Over the Top, 1987, Invasion USA, 1986, Hot Chili, 1985, and Missing in Action, 1984. And final group of nominees, Crapster Piece Theater, all 7 episodes that you can only get at patreon.com/AA Spook Show. They're exclusive to Patreon. The Garbage Pail Kids movie, 1987. Nothing But Trouble, 1991. No Holds Barred, 1989. Ernest Goes to Camp, 1987. Camp Blood, 2000. Showgirls, 1995. And Manos, The Hands of Fate, 1966. So that is a mouthful there to start off.
Yeah, that's quite the list of rundown. Take a drink.
Yeah, I just did. That's a lot. That's a lot to throw out there all at once. But we
It is
just
a
wanna,
lot.
That is the year. That's crazy that we've done this much. You
Yeah.
know, when you hear it all like laid out in front of you, like we're doing here tonight, it's crazy that we've been able to put out this much stuff in the past year.
Yeah, not only that, but those are those are full episodes from all year, and not to mention we did our Deadline Horror News live episodes on YouTube for
Yeah.
pretty much all year, with the exception of because we just recently sunset it. Yeah.
Yeah, we put it in the dustbin.
Yeah.
And that's not, once again, to add to that, that's not even including the newest series that we just started on our YouTube channel, Grindhouse Gutter. Now, we've only done 3 of those, so there's not really enough to discuss here.
Yeah.
So next year, there will probably definitely be a Grindhouse Gutter category here in the 3rd Annual Spookshow Awards. But for now, we'll just leave that where it is. But we do encourage you to go over to our YouTube channel. And the Linktree link should be down in the show notes to all of our things, our social networks, Patreon, our YouTube channel, TeePublic, all those things. They're all there. And if you want to email us, you can do so at allamericanspookshow@gmail.com. So I guess without any further build-up, we'll go ahead and get into the first category here. And the first one we got is Best Older Reviewed Horror Film, 1999 back.
Yeah, so basically what we have 14 different nominations here. We've got The Evil Dead from 1982, Night of the Living Dead from 1968, The Fly from 1986, The Burning from 1981, Hellraiser from 1987, Phantasm from 1979, 10 to Midnight, because, I'm sorry, no, this is, would you call 10 to Midnight a horror movie?
Yeah, I mean, we did do it on a regular horror episode, and even though we're kind of retroactively throwing it in cannon fodder, I mean, there's some horror elements to it, right? So
yeah, well, I guess so. So we'll throw that in there. But anyway, 10 to Midnight's from 1983, Silent Night, Deadly Night from 1984, Frankenhooker from 1990, Madman from 1981, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2 from 1988, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth from 1992, New Year's Evil from 1980, and Hack-O-Lantern from 1988.
Now,
So
this is more of a fact-based thing here because this is strictly based on what we rated these movies in each episode. So this isn't really a debate. This is just time to announce the winner. So if you just want to go ahead and announce it, then we can discuss it for a minute.
Yeah, so basically the winner of the best older reviewed horror film was Evil Dead with the average Spook Show rating of 4.63. So that was the best older film that got the highest ratings from us.
And we just did that back on episode 121, so it hasn't been that long ago that we did it. But Will, you got anything you want to add about The Evil Dead?
No, that was just a movie that for some reason had escaped me this entire time, and it was a blast to watch. I highly recommend anybody that's like me that hadn't had a chance to see it to definitely go and watch that. Yeah,
and it got 4.63 stars on our consensus rating, but very close behind it was Night of the Living Dead from 1968. It got 4.31 stars. Smoke, you want to say anything about Night of the Living Dead?
Oh, I mean, the movie exists in the Library of Congress. There's a copy of it in the Library of Congress, so that tells you, how important of a film it is. Even though it's, super low budget horror movie we're talking about. It's Romero. It's the first cannibalistic zombie film, the first zombie film to set down the rules of shoot them in the head and all that. So yeah, you can't really add any more to this movie as far as how important it is to the horror genre.
So that's our top two on there, but The Evil Dead walks away with the best older reviewed horror film. So, Donnie, I'll let you run through the next category of best newer reviewed horror film. Then these are movies from 2000 to present.
Yeah, these are also 14, total nominations. The most recent being The Witch from 2015, Deathgasm from 2015, Prey from 2022, Halloween Kills from 2021, Session 9 from 2001, Never Hike Alone from 2017, Malignant from 2021, Caveat from 2020, Into the Dark Pilgrim from 2019, Summer Camp from 2015, You Might Be the Killer from 2018, The Ginger Dead Man from 2005. Yeah, just trips me up every time. Valentine from 2001, and Leprechaun 5 in the Hood from 2000.
So what takes the category?
Yeah, so the winner of the best newer reviewed horror film goes to The Witch from 2015.
So it took us all the way, it took us all the way up to literally last week to decide this category.
yeah. So and it wasn't by much. The average rating was 3.94 amongst the four of us, and just behind it, in second place, was Deathgasm from 2015 with 3.75. So three and 3/4.
Two completely different kinds of movies, The Witch and Deathgasm,
Yeah.
right, Smoke?
Yeah, and both of them are very highly enjoyable. I highly recommend them. Well, the one thing that links them is the occult. You got a satanic heavy metal, demonic forces in Deathgasm, and then you got the Witch, demonic forces, or whatever you want to call it, in the Witch. So both the movies, though, are great to watch around this time of year, around Halloween. So
ironically,
anybody who hasn't seen them, go check both of those movies out.
Ironically, both movies came out in 2015, so there must have been something in the water that year that allowed the top two to be taken that year from what we've watched from that year so far, I guess. All right, so moving on to the next category. This category is Best Camp Spook Show Film. So this past summer, from episode 111 to 120, plus 2 episodes of Crapster Peace Theater over on Patreon, we talked about summer camp movies. Now, there were a couple exceptions to that because we did one Cannon Fodder, which ended up being Hot Chili, and that's because there were no summer camp movies that Cannon Films ever did. So we talked to Austin Trunick, author of the Cannon Film Guide, who we just had on the show a couple weeks ago. And this was basically, he told us Hot Chili or Hot Resort would probably be the closest thing. We landed on Hot Chili, and I don't know if that was good or bad, but here we are, right? But that was the one that we had. But between all the episodes that we did for Camp Spook Show, including the Crapster piece, there's 10 nominations. So go ahead and read those down, Donnie.
Yeah, so Best Camp Spook Show Film nominees, we got 10 of these. So it's The Burning from 1981, Meatballs from 1979, Never Hike Alone from 2017, Madman from 1981, Summer Camp from 2015, You Might Be the Killer from 2018, Hot Chili from 1985, Summer Camp from 1979, Ernest Goes to Camp from 1987, and Camp Blood 2000, from 2000.
Now,
I had to say it like that.
We're kind of throwing these in, even some of these in, even though they don't necessarily go by the same thing. Because on Crapsterpiece, we don't give out a star rating. We give out whether it's a sinker, a floater, or it's diarrhea. Sinker or floater being like, I guess the whole premise is in Crapsterpiece, we know this is a shitty movie, so to speak. So where do you differentiate the different kinds of turds? So we came up with floater as a tolerable turd. A sinker is kind of like, well, it was okay. I got through it. We survived the ordeal. And then there's diarrhea. It's the worst of the worst. It's the shits. The drizzling shits, literally diarrhea. So the two Crapsterpiece movies that got nominated here are Camp Blood, which got a diarrhea, and Ernest Goes to Camp was a sinker. So obviously those probably aren't going to be up for winning the Best Camp Spook Show Award. But I just
definitely
felt that,
not.
I just felt that
but...
they stick out a little bit, so we should explain that a little bit.
Yeah. This was actually a lot.
They don't necessarily stick out above the water though.
No,
the water line.
No, neither of them did.
Yeah. So the winner of the Best Camp Spook Show film goes to The Burning from 1981 with an average score of 3.5 stars. Not far behind that in second place was Meatballs 1979 with 3.19.
Yeah,
so,
and even though that's a cult corner movie, and they are, to be fair, judged a little differently, that's still a pretty high score. Still comparable. In between the two. So The Burning, I actually nominated that one, and I think that one won on the wheel spin or whatever. But Smoke, what do you have to say about The Burning?
Yeah, Tom Savini. Even though when we discussed that episode, Savini didn't necessarily think it. For the most of the movie, as far as the makeup for the creature wasn't up to par for his stuff, and that's true. The burning, his face was burned, but it didn't really. He didn't have that necessarily that sculpture down, I guess, for his face that well. But all the other gore effects were good, like that raft scene / new scene, whatever. When they come up on it, and he's in there, and then he kills like 5 people at one time with the hedge trimmers.
That was awesome.
It's probably the goriest scene in the whole movie. I mean, because it's 5 at once, basically. And there's some other random scenes that are out there, but it's a classic slasher film. If people out there who haven't seen it, you can't go wrong with that as far as if you like slasher movies.
So there can't be really much of a debate here. The Burning was our favorite movie from Camp Spook Show. Now, as to whether we'll do Camp Spook Show again next summer, who knows? We'll see. Only time will tell. But we did Summer of the Wolf the year before that, so that might end up being the summer theme, is that we change it every year. So who knows? We'll see. Yeah. But next category is Best Cult Corner Film. Now, these only have 5 nominations because this just started back on episode 96. So, Donnie, if you want to run through those.
Yeah, so we've got The Big Lebowski from 1998, Memento from 2000, The Warriors from 1979, Meatballs from 1979, and Summer Camp from 1979.
Which one of these things is not like the other?
Right, so the big winner here is The Big Lebowski with 4.5 stars. Not far behind was actually Memento with 4.1 stars.
Yeah, like
definitely
I said,
recommended.
Those top 4, Big Lebowski, Memento, The Warriors, Meatballs, I think we all agree. These are movies that if you haven't seen them, you need to sit down and watch. Summer Camp, not so much. And we'll get into that here in a little bit. But what more can you say about The Big Lebowski, Will, that this thing deserves what it gets here?
Oh God, it's a classic movie. I mean, people still to this day are still quoting stuff from this movie, so it just kind of gives you the lasting power of this movie. And then you get into the cast. It's an amazing movie, and it still holds up today.
All right, moving on to the next category, we've got Best Cannon Fodder Film. Now, once again, a shorter list because this only started back in episode 89, and that's with us throwing in the fact that, 10 to Midnight, or I should say New Year's Evil, I think was episode 89, and then 10 to Midnight we did a couple episodes later. But so it's still a newer series, but it's been a very popular series, so go ahead and run it down, Donnie.
Yeah, so we've got Over the Top from 1987, Missing in Action from 1984, Invasion USA from 1986, 10 to Midnight from 1983, New Year's Evil from 1980, and Hot Chili from 1985.
Now, I think this one, before you get into who won it and everything, this one might need to be something that we come back around to after the 4th anniversary, or maybe during the 4th anniversary episode, although we do have a winner. And the reason I say that is because with us throwing 10 to Midnight and New Year's Evil in, we didn't judge those movies the same way we judged the rest of these. And this one, we have a Cannonball rating scale. And admittedly, it's skewed on the high side because these are Cannon films. So, something it's going to be pretty easy for something to get five cannonballs in this one. So, and we didn't have that with 10 to Midnight and New Year's Evil. I'm just saying. So, not to say that those would directly affect who wins this, because I think it's a pretty fairly clear-cut winner here. But just
I do want to say that Hot Chili was judged accordingly to that.
It was judged accordingly, and it was judged by the Cannonball rating scale. So not that one, just those two is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, we'll get to it, but yeah. So the winner of the best Cannon fodder film goes to Over the Top from 1987 with a perfect 5 rating. Perfect 5 rating amongst the 5 of us, because we also got Austin Trunick's rating as well.
He gives us, now we don't have his rating, to be fair, for, once again, 10 to Midnight and New Year's Evil. So maybe that's something I can get his ratings on those. And then maybe once we get to the 4th anniversary special, we can add his rating in. Maybe we can all adjust if we want to, and then see where it lands then. But I think either way, it's not going to bump over the top off the top of the list. And Missing in Action was pretty close too, with 4 3/4 cannonballs.
Yeah, that's just another good one, man.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of fun with the Cannon fodder, and I think it's only going to get better from here on, or worse. I mean, because there's some shitty ones. There's some shitty ones too. But like, I think we still got a lot of fun, a lot to go into the well here with the Cannon film stuff. So that I got a lot to look forward to there, and it's cool to look back. So, all right, now we're going to get to the serious stuff here. All right. These next 2 categories are completely tied to Craftsperpiece Theater. Now, once again, we encourage you to go over to patreon.com/AASpookshow. There's been 7 episodes as of the airing of this. The 8th one will come out later this month, because we always have a good time with them. But, man, there have been a lot of these, and we'll get into that here in just a second, that have been rough. Just rough. I mean, I know the premise, right? They're shitty movies. I get it. But son of a bitch, some of these have been really rough.
Yeah.
But the first category we have here, we're going to call it, it's the best, quote unquote, Craftsperpiece movie. So we're going to call this one The Golden Bomber. And it just so happens to be named after the winner. So go ahead and run through the nominees there, Donnie.
Yeah, so we got 7 nominations, like we mentioned previously. And it starts with No Holds Barred from 1989. Nothing but Trouble from 1991. Ernest Goes to Camp from 1987. The Garbage Pail Kids movie from 1987. Camp Blood from 2000. Showgirls from 1995. And Manos, The Hands of Fate, 1966.
Now, there's only, out of all of those, and remember I told you our scale there, floater, sinker, diarrhea. So floater being the quote-unquote best, sinker being, okay, it's mid, it's not great, it's not horrible, it's just mid. Then diarrhea is just the drizzling shit. So only one of those got a floater. So what what takes the award?
Yeah, the Golden Bomber Award for the best Craftsperpiece film goes to No Holds Barred from 1989. Scored a floater rating.
Like I said, the ironic twist there is that the Golden Bomber name comes from No Holds Barred, because when we did that one, we found that an alternate name, I don't know, in Japan or somewhere, wherever the hell it was, somewhere else in the world, the alternate title for No Holds Barred was The Golden Bomber. And right then and there, we're like, yep, this has got to be the name of it. So how ironic that No Holds Barred takes it. What do you think, Smoke?
Oh yeah. It was well deserved. Out of all those movies, it would be the one that would at least take away with a floater.
Yeah,
I've been knowing ever since I saw it back in the day. I mean, yeah, it's a crappy movie. Everybody knows that it's but it's one of the most enjoyable crappy movies you watch.
Yeah, that's the key, right, Will? That's the takeaway, is that this is the most enjoyable of the shit, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, how can you go wrong with a movie that says Dookie?
What's I smell? Good Lord. Oh, but if you think
I hate Dookie.
if you think any of that is bad, and they're bad, just in general, like Smoke said, it's a shitty movie, but it's an enjoyable shitty movie. All right, well, these are the worst. So the worst Crapsterpiece Theater film, we've got another 7 nominations, same list of movies, but this time 4 movies got rated diarrhea. So Donnie, just read those 4 diarrhea-ridden movies.
Yeah, so, and this is probably where we debate what gets the Burnt Turd Award.
Yeah, because there is no definitive winner here.
The nominees that all got the diarrhea rating, the Garbage Pail Kids movie from 1987, Camp Blood from 2000, Showgirls. Yeah, Showgirls from 1995.
I'm gonna throw up.
And Manos, The Hands of Fate from 1966. Yeah. For myself, man, I'm probably gonna say, for me, it's between Camp Blood and Garbage Pail Kids as far as the worst. God damn, I don't know.
You got to pick one. Only one Highlander can survive.
Oh man, I'm gonna say Camp Blood. It's got to be Camp Blood.
All right, Smoke, what do you say? Garbage Pail Kids, Camp Blood, Showgirls, Manos.
That's Donnie said it. That's the one I was going with. Camp Blood. I mean, because all these are drizzling shits, but the way I look at it is, which of these would I not watch again if I had to watch one of these other 4 movies? And it would be Camp Blood, but I'd watch any of those other ones before I'd watch Camp Blood again.
That's true. That's true.
Will?
We're going with clean sweep so far.
Yeah, and not that my vote counts, but it does. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and make it 4-0.
I'm sorry. A clean wipe.
Yeah, we're not getting a clean wipe here. You wipe once and it got on your hands.
Nah.
It got on your hands, then you tried to get it off and it got on your arm. It's all over the fucking place now. It's Camp Blood, and that's why we call this category the burnt turd, because there's nothing worse than, I wouldn't think, right? There's not much worse than the smell of burnt shit, right? So,
y'all can thank me for that one. Thank me for that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thanks.
And then you skipped out on it.
Oh yeah. Then there's that. You just laid a big flaming bag of poop on Donnie and I's doorstep, and then just ran and laughed.
Honestly, I think that's the way it needs to be. Is whoever gets the nomination on that one just needs not to be there.
Yeah. That would encourage us all to nominate the worst of the worst, because then that just means all the rest of us will have to watch it. So yeah. So there you go. The worst Crapsterpiece film.
That.
The burnt.
That's actually that's a good premise. Yeah, like if you win, you don't have to watch it. I really like that. I think we should do that.
So the worst Crapsterpiece film, The Burnt Turd, is Camp Blood, and the best Crapsterpiece film, The Golden Bomber, goes to No Holds Barred. So I don't think there's much room for debate there. I think those both deserve what they got there. We didn't deserve it, but they sure as fuck deserve it. Keeping up with the comedy here, now we're going to switch over. We're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to go to the Spook Show's funniest moments. Now, these could be things we talked about. These could be entire movies. These could be scenes of a movie, general premises, pretty much anything that happened in the last calendar year or so here on the Spook Show. So, Donnie, what are some of the nominees that we're throwing at the wall here?
Yeah. So, Spook Show's funniest moment here are some of those. On the Phantasm episode, the story of when we were kids, we were throwing balled up aluminum foil at each other, yelling "Phantasm." I just remember that, it's just
clearly
like
just based on the flying sphere in the movies, right?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah, we didn't have enough money to actually have like a little, deadly floating orb sphere with knives on it. So we just So you just balled up aluminum balls and for some reason yell "Phantasm" when you do it.
Chucked at each other. And then, another nominee.
Something tells me that's about to start coming back, by the way.
What, Phantasm?
Throwing aluminum balls at each other.
Yeah, I'm just going to always have a small satchel of aluminum balls ready to go. So whenever I
It's
see
like
you
the
guys,
movie
I'm just gonna
tag.
hook 'em at you.
That's how we're going to play this now.
Yeah, the next nominee would be every Craps for Peace theater, which is pretty
Yeah,
accurate.
that's all encompassing. Yeah. Which, based on what we just talked about, really it should just say Camp Blood, right?
And then the New Year's Evil song, which you'll pipe in here.
Yeah. New Year's Evil.
And then the Nothing But Trouble Dick Nose dinner scene. Just ridiculous in itself.
Yeah, and the dinner scene that encompasses they're all eating those hot dogs, these wieners, whatever, and they're
like
sausage in the casing or whatever. And
Dan Aykroyd's character is just shaking and stuff, and the
little wiener wiggle.
Yeah.
Not to mention they're gray. They're like gray bratwursts.
Yeah.
And they're like,
yeah.
The last nominee is the What's Your Pleasure, Sir? That guy from Hellraiser.
Yeah, I know he's I think he's in the first two movies for sure. I don't remember. I think they kind of went away from that finally in the third one. But yeah, either way, I think it's worth mentioning here. Oh, what's your pleasure, mister? This fucking guy. All right, so
I said, I think he's like the distant cousin of the guy from Gremlins, like I said in one of the episodes. The guy, the Oriental guy that they got Gizmo from.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're definitely related, no doubt. I guess I'm gonna say, honestly, just reading all these out and talking about them just now, I'm probably gonna say Crapster Piece is kind of in and of itself just an entity. It's its own sidecar over there by itself anyway. So the one that probably makes me laugh the most every time it's brought up is probably the Nothing But Trouble. Dan Aykroyd's dick nose and the whole dinner scene and everything. Yeah, every time, even when I was like 12 or 13, whatever age I was when that came out. That made me laugh. So yeah, I'm gonna go with that myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo that because it's still funny. We're still laughing about it. 30 years later.
And just the fact that it pops up back at the end.
Yeah. yeah. And that was the other best part about that too. It's so indiscriminate and so random even in the movie because he doesn't always have it. It doesn't always look like that. It's only at certain times when they do close-ups and he cuts and he turns around and he's smiling and you can clearly see it's a what do they call that? The
phallic.
Yeah, whatever the phrase you want to put to it. Yeah, it's clearly a dick. So are we all agreeing here, Smoke?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. That's and just us discussing it was it's more hilarious than just watching it on. It's hilarious when I see it. I'm gonna crack up every time, but the four of us discussing it offers another level of humor to it. That was, in fact, in retrospect, that was a movie that we probably could have done when we were all together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
The only one, the first and only one we've done like that was Frankenhooker. So yeah, that would have been a good one. And that also, that's another good idea. Maybe one of these days we do a Crapster Piece. Months, all at the same time, because that would just add to the stupid. If we're all in the same room. That's a good call.
Hurry, step right this way, folks, for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, taste-tempting candies of finest quality. Enjoy popcorn, exploded into tender, delicious, crispy bites of crunchy goodness. Enjoy the tops in cool, refreshing soft drinks. If you want to enjoy some refreshments, this is your opportunity. There will now be a short intermission.
So the next category is a new one. We didn't have this last year, so we decided kind of late in the process to add it because you start thinking about what we watched and did over the last year, and you think of a lot of what the fuck moments, be it same criteria, be it a whole movie, scene of a movie, something that happened on the show, whatever. This kind of encompass all those things. So, Donnie, if you want to run down, this is a little bit longer of a list, but I think you'll see the point of it once you hear them all.
Yeah, so basically the nominees for the best what the fuck moment was every Crapster Piece theater, which is accurate.
Once again, it's just going to keep getting nominated.
Yeah, and Hack-A-Lantern. We've got Into the Dark Pilgrim, Shane Meat, Thanksgiving feast scene. Sorry.
Yep.
The Ginger Dead Man.
That's the whole
New
movie.
Year's Evil.
The whole movie.
Yeah, basically the entire movie of the Ginger Dead Man. New Year's Evil, the Son Derek ambulance ending. Malignant Gabriel reveal. The entire movie of Valentine. Leprechaun 5 in the Hood. The Coolio scene and the the leprechaun rap at the end. The ending to session 9. The entire movie of Hot Chili. The entire movie of Summer Camp 1979. And Brundlefly.
There's a lot of good ones there. There's definitely a lot of moments where in what you just read where you go, what the fuck, when you're watching these movies or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Smoke, any of those things stick out to you? Or something you might want to say? When's this one?
Oh god, that's a lot.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
Hold on for 1 second, Smoke. Can I add one more thing to it?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
The Deathgasm adult toy death scenes.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. But you could almost nominate that whole movie too, right? Deathgasm.
You could.
There was a lot of what
that
the fuck in that one.
Yeah, there was, but that specific scene.
Yeah, you're right.
Hilarious. That could have been in Funniest Moment as well. Pretty good.
For me, I'm gonna go with just to kind of kick it off here while you guys are thinking about and processing all that. I'm gonna go with the Malignant Gabriel reveal. Now we are a spoiler-filled podcast. So if you haven't seen Malignant, I think you need to give this one at least one viewing. I'm not saying it's the greatest movie. I'm not saying it's the worst movie, but you need to see this movie at least once. And that scene, or I guess that just the reveal of what Gabriel is, that is pretty what the fuck. And then leading up to one thing that we're going to be talking about in the best kill scene, one of the nominees there. But yeah, that is a pretty big what the fuck, just for the movie in general, right? At least the first time you sit there and watch that movie.
True, yeah. But the prison scene, too, was pretty what the fuck, wasn't it? The prison scene in Malignant. That
one's going to be coming back up. Yeah.
I'm going to say Brundlefly, just because I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, oh my God, what the fuck?
I think for me, I'm going to go Brundlefly too. And the way that the rest of the body falls off as he finally turns into the fly, that was just like impressive just to sit there and watch.
Yeah,
CG.
and when you're talking about a what the fuck moment, you do have to take into account, like Donnie said, especially the first time you saw it, it's definitely like, whoa. Smoke.
Yeah, I could probably third the fly, specifically Brundlefly, but also the larva, giving birth to the larva scene that Gina Davis.
Yeah.
When I first saw that theater too, I didn't expect that part to to be that. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that. Like, bam, right here. And it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then the Brundlefly parts of him, the first time he puked was pretty nice. It was a donut, on the big screen. I'm like 13 years old and I'm like, ugh.
Well, there you go. That's, other than my, the Malignant Gabriel reveal, Brundlefly's going to take the award, right, Donnie?
Yeah, that's gonna be the winner of the best what the fuck moment.
And kind of a distant but similar cousin to that category is the best kill scene. Now this is one we did have last year, so go ahead and run down the nominees for that one. All
right, so we've got Jesus Wept from Hellraiser.
No, say it correctly.
Jesus Wept.
Rip.
And then he, just get rips apart. The Halloween Kills firefighter scene. Awesome. The burning boat kill scene.
Yeah.
The burning boat. Yeah.
They didn't catch the boat on fire.
Viking funeral.
Yeah. So, and then we've also got the Malignant jail massacre scene.
Yeah, which we just mentioned.
Yeah. The entire movie of Deathgasm. Hellraiser 3, the club massacre scene. Prey, the Predator French camp massacre scene. Linnea Quigley, Antlers, the kill scene.
Yeah, that was in Silent Night, Deadly Night. So yeah, those are some good ones, and there's probably a lot of other good ones from this past year that we're just blanking on. But these were the ones that instantly kind of came to mind when we started running through the list of what we talked about over the past year. So, Will, what do you think out of the ones we just said? What are you going to go with?
For me, it was Prey. That whole massacre scene, head decapitation, just blood everywhere. I think for me that was the best kill scene.
So, what do you think?
My main nominee out of that was the burning, the scene, the boat canoe scene or whatever, when they come up on it and he slaughters like 5 of them with the hedge trimmer. And it just primed sort of Tom Savini. I think the best Tom Savini moment in that movie. And I'm a sucker for that type of classic splatter type Savini style effect. So that's the one I went with.
I'm going to say Jesus Wept Jesus wept. Yeah, from Hellraiser.
It might be one of those ones that stick in your mind and kind of a funny scene in a way, but like my only beef with that one is they didn't really show it all the way. You know, like you kind of see it. Like I think if I recall, they kind of start pulling them apart. You kind of see them explode, but then they cut away from it pretty quick.
Yeah.
That does kind of soften the blow a little bit.
Yeah, as far as like the first time I saw, that fucked me up.
That scene in Prey was pretty good, but I don't know, for whatever reason that malignant jail massacre scene is sticking out for me, man. Like that was fucking brutal and just insanity, just pure insanity. To go along with the rest of the insanity for that entire movie. So I'm going to say the malignant jail massacre, which means we've got no definitive winner here,
I've got the wheel up.
So we've got so I guess we'll pare it down to the ones that we all said. We said the Jesus wept Hellraiser scene, the burning boat kill scene, the malignant jail massacre scene, and then the Predator French camp massacre scene from Prey.
Spin the wheel to seal the deal.
Yeah.
All right.
So go ahead and give her a spin and see. I guess we'll just go with the first one that it lands on, and that will be what takes the award.
All right. There we go.
All right. Prey. So yeah, there you go. That's the winner of the best kill scene, the Predator French camp massacre scene from Prey, and that was pretty damn brutal. There's no question about that. So I don't think if you've seen that movie, you would argue too much that the brutality of it all. So, speaking of brutality, the next category is the Kill Count Award. Now, these are based on the highest kill count that Will gives out every episode. So we got a pretty clear-cut winner here, but Donnie, if you want to go ahead and run down the nominees.
All right, so the nominees for the highest kill count award, the highest kill count nominees are Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth from 1992, Malignant from 2021, Deathgasm from 2015, Halloween Kills from 2021, and Prey from 2022. And pretty much running away with it was Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth from 1992 with 358 kills.
Yeah. Yeah, the closest one was Malignant with 36 kills. Well, that's well over 320 or so, quick math, more kills in Hellraiser 3 than there were in Malignant. Now, that was solely based on that club massacre scene that was just one of the nominees for the best kill scene. So that's why that count was so high. And ironically, though, with that one, remember, you saw some of it, Smoke, if you remember when we watched the movie. You saw some of that, but then they just kind of like, we're not going to show all these people die. Just know that, like, bad shit happens. So they close the door, and then there's blood that comes out from underneath the door. And then later on, you see, like, piles of bodies in this club, right?
Bodies, yeah.
Yep.
So there you go.
I guess they thought it's just a little bit too much to show about, however many people were in there. Out of those deaths, was it 300 in the club?
Yeah.
I don't know how many
was. Yeah, probably over 300 of those 358 were probably just in that club scene. Yeah.
That'd be one hell of a brutal scene if they just decided, okay, we're going to show 300 different splattery,
Yeah, and look, it was brutal in its own way, and they did show a lot of it, but they didn't show everybody, so like at some point they were just like, all right, that's enough, you get the point. And then they just showed a door with blood coming out from underneath. But yeah. So yeah, I think it's memorable enough, and it definitely deserves the kill count award there for sure, as far as that body count's concerned. And the other thing that we do on every episode is, Smoke, you do the Gore Score award. Now, we've only got 2 nominees because you only rated 2 movies as a 10. The Gore Score is something that Smoke does every episode based on the horror writer and reviewer Chaz Balin's bit that he used to do. He used to give out a Gore Score, and that's basically how gory a movie is. So the scale is 0 to 10, 0 being not gory at all the way up to 10 being like hyper gory or whatever, right? Whatever the criteria is. So the 2 nominees there were, Smoke, and we'll let you kind of decide which one is going to be the winner. This isn't a group decision. This is all on you. Deathgasm from 2015 and The Evil Dead from 1982.
Oh, man. That's a tough one.
Now, almost for 2 completely different reasons, too, right? Deathgasm was more balls to the wall, just insanity, people dying left and right kind of thing because the heavy metal kind of aspect to it and everything. It was real fast paced, so a lot of shit was going on. Evil Dead is more like, it's only those 5 people in the cabin kind of thing. Right, but there is quite a bit going on with those 5 people in the cabin.
I guess the other thing that we could do is, because the body count is quite, I don't know if you have the body counts, the kill counts of those readily available or not, but I'm sure that Deathgasm had more kill count, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've got Deathgasm had 35 kills. So I guess if you're giving, if you've given Evil Dead, a 10, doing more with less.
Yeah, it only had 4 kills in the Evil Dead.
Yeah. So I think in this case, it's best to go with quantity if you're trying to rule out something. Because you can have a small kill count and still get a 10, depending on how nasty the gore and splatter is in there. But if you got another movie that has just as equal amount of nasty, splatter scenes and all that stuff, but more people are getting killed, I think we'll just have to go with Deathgasm on that one.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of an argument there. Obviously that was the 3rd highest movie on the Kill Count Award list. And it's number 10. It got a 10 rating from you in the Gore Score when we did that episode. So there's no argument there that this one clearly deserves the Gore Score award. Now we're getting into a more serious fare here. We're coming down the home stretch. But this one is another one. There's no definitive winner because there was a lot of crap that we watched. And this is not even taking into account Crapsterpiece Theater, folks. Yeah. This is just ones that we did on the regular podcast. We're not lumping Crapsterpiece Theater in because that's its own little world over there. So for this, worst movie. So go ahead and run it down, Donnie.
All right, so we've got Summer Camp from 1979, Valentine from 2001, Leprechaun 5 in the Hood from 2000, Hack-O-Lantern from 1988, and Hot Chili from 1985. Oof.
And that one, even in Hot Chili, the caveat there, right, is that's a Cannon Fodder movie, so it's rated by Cannonballs. So it is a slightly different scale, but still, it got a horrible fucking rating. So the 3 movies that we are considering here on the table right now for open debate as the worst are Summer Camp, 1979, Valentine from 2001, and Leprechaun 5 in the Hood from 2000, because all 3 of those, based on our ratings, got 1 star. 1 star even. None of those were worse or better as far as our ratings are concerned. So I think we need to go around the table here and decide between Summer Camp 79, Valentine, and Leprechaun in the Hood, which one's the worst. So, good Lord. Donnie, I'll let you start off. What do you think is the worst of those 3?
The worst of those 3. Damn, that sucks. But
yeah, it does.
It sucks being first. But I'm going to say, damn, all of them suck. For me, it's between Valentine and Summer Camp. I'm gonna say Summer Camp, 1979. God Almighty, why?
I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna let Will and Smoke eventually decide this one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. Summer Camp 79. Like, I agree that really the 2 worst are Summer Camp and Valentine. Like, I don't want to watch those ever again. Leprechaun in the Hood, I don't want to watch it, but I could see myself watching that again. There were some funny moments. I could see it. Those other 2, hell no. Like, unless there's some reason here for the show, I would not watch Summer Camp or Valentine. So, Donnie, I'm going to echo you. I'm going to go with Summer Camp because Valentine sucked, though. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Next on Spook Show Rewind.
Yeah, I'll go Summer Camp just because, but it was fucking god awful. But Will, what do you say?
I'm going Valentine. That movie.
It's hard to argue it.
It felt like it kept trying to change its mind on who the killer was. like a lot of the stuff throughout the entire movie just didn't make sense.
And watching these movies is like running through a muddy field because, like, they're probably all about an hour and a half, maybe even less, but they feel like they're 3.5 hours long. All 3 of those. So Smoke. So what'd you say, Valentine? So Smoke, it's up to you. Is it Summer Camp or Valentine? That's kind of where we're at.
Or is it Leprechaun in the Hood?
I'll tell you which one it definitely is not. It's definitely not Leprechaun in the Hood.
Okay.
Like you said, I can watch that one again. I can watch that one. I mean, I do. Well, watch it fairly, not often, but I've seen that one more than any of the other ones, and I can watch it again. It's funny. It has its moments. It's crap, yeah, but so that one's ruled out. I have to go with Valentine. I hate the movie. I hate Valentine. I hated it the first time I saw it, and I hate it even worse the second time around.
Yeah, now I should add, we haven't done the 4th anniversary show yet, so some of these, there's a good chance they're going to get re-rated, maybe even lower, so whatever we decide here, we'll do a wheel spin. I think we should between, or flip of the coin, whatever, between Summer Camp and Valentine, because 2 votes each. But don't be surprised if when we do our re-ratings on Halloween that there might be a more definitive, clear winner here. So, Donnie, if you want to go ahead and decide it for us, I guess we'll go with that for now.
All right, here we go. It's either Valentine or Summer Camp.
Yeah, so whichever one it lands on, that will take the worst movie award.
All right.
There's no winners. No winners here.
Play some bets here.
Yeah,
that's Valentine's get.
I think it's going to be Summer Camp.
Summer Camp it is.
Yep, there we go.
Shit, I lost my whole goddamn house. I'm all paycheck.
Why did I do this?
Yeah, Summer Camp it is.
I'm ruined.
So the worst movie is Summer Camp.
Yeah, I don't think there's
1979.
I mean, like, splitting hairs, you know what I mean? Those movies really did suck. And by the way, we did mention them off the top there. I'm not going to throw any less shade on Hack-O-Lantern and Hot Chili. Especially Hot Chili. And like, honestly, there is the argument to be made that Hot Chili was the worst one. The only reason I think we couldn't quite consider that is because that was a Cannonball rating scale. I think if we were rating that movie on the same scale as those, Summer Camp, Valentine, Leprechaun, I think that might have taken it. There's that.
I don't know, man.
So Summer Camp took the crown here, right?
Yeah.
So you're telling me you'd rather watch Hot Chili again over Summer Camp? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I might go with Hot Chili again. God Almighty, what the hell?
No, good Lord.
I'd watch Hot Chili and Summer Camp twice, back to back, double feature before I'd watch Valentine again.
Ooh, yeah,
that's me though. That's me though. That's my personal bias. Is because if it's a shitty old movie and a shitty new movie, I'm going to go with the shitty older movie.
I guess. But God damn, dude, those movies suck. There was little to no redeeming qualities.
They do.
Jesus. Anyways, and I love the story of how we came to Summer Camp 79 was like, I just thought that it's called Summer Camp and the poster looks, it looked contemporary to Meatballs, so it can't be that bad. And then we watched it. Boy, was I wrong. Yeah. So there you go. Summer Camp 1979 takes it, but don't be surprised if that gets that might get changed on the 4th anniversary show. Just saying. We'll see. The next two, Donnie, I'll go ahead and let you talk about those for a second because these are more definitive, clear-cut things that you do the homework for.
Yeah, so basically what we did this last year with the Spook Show Scream King and Scream Queen awards. And last year's winner was for the Scream King was Dick Miller. And the Scream Queen was...
it was Dee Wallace last year.
Yeah, Dee Wallace last year. Thanks. Yeah. So basically what we do here is it's the highest rated episode appearances from the qualifying episodes number 74 through 127. So the winner of the Spook Show Scream King Award goes to Doug Bradley for Hellraiser 2, and Hellraiser 3.
Very, very deserved. And also kind of one of the criteria, right, is most appearances, right?
Yeah, appearances, highest. Yeah. Not only most appearances, but also highest rated based on, whoever we have.
Yeah, so that kind of breaks the ties and other criteria.
Yeah, basically highest rated.
Yeah, well deserved. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to argue with Doug Bradley getting the Scream King Award from us.
Yeah, so, and also for the Scream Queen Award, Ashley Lawrence, also for Hellraiser 2, and Hellraiser 3. Definitely well deserved there.
Yeah, no doubt. For the same reasons. Although, in Hellraiser 3, she's barely in it. It's like it's debatable whether it's a pre-recorded segment. I mean, she's there. She's credited. She's there, but it's like she's not really a part of it either. But still, once again, hard to argue. And there probably weren't too many that would have fit the criteria anyway. So there you go. All right, we've come down to the main event. We've basically everything else leading up to this point has been a complete fucking waste of time. Let's be honest. This is the category that we all came here for, that you're all listening for, you're waited with bated breath for. We've took a whole year to come here. This is for the best movie. So go ahead and run through the big nominees there, Donnie.
Yeah, the big nominees for the best movie we've watched on the Spook Show this year. The nominees are The Evil Dead from 1982, The Big Lebowski from 1998, Night of the Living Dead from 1968, The Fly from 1986, Memento from 2000, and Over the Top from 1987.
Now we throw
switch.
We throw that one in simply because it got 5 cannonballs, the highest rated cannon fodder movie. So that has to be on the table for consideration. But hard facts don't lie, and we've come to a conclusion on this one. Although it was pretty fucking close. So
yeah, it was.
Go ahead and announce
it. It was. So the winner of the best movie that we've watched this year goes to The Evil Dead from 1982 with 4.63 stars. Just barely beat out The Big Lebowski with 4.56.
You can't get much closer than that.
Really fucking
4.5 stars versus 4.6 stars. I mean, like,
yeah. So horror wins out.
Even though, to be fair, Cult Corner is looked at a little differently. That being said, I don't think we're judging The Evil Dead and The Big Lebowski too far apart. You know, like you said, horror wins out. And Night of the Living Dead was fairly close too with 4.3 stars. So, you know, all these movies were well-deserved nominees, even The Fly, Memento, and Over the Top, just because they got so high of a rating. All of them were over 4 stars, and then that Over the Top, like I said, was 5 cannonballs. So, all worthy of consideration for it. But, Smoke, it's hard to argue The Evil Dead, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. You almost have to. I mean, plus, it's the All-American Spook Show. That's what we started out. That was our bread and butter originally, I guess. So, not saying that we had to go with horror, but.
Yeah, it's just kind of
it's fitting.
Yeah.
It's very appropriate and it's fitting. So, and once again, anybody that listens to this show, you enjoy this kind of stuff too, just like we do. And I don't think anyone's gonna have a big beef with The Evil Dead edging out The Big Lebowski. So there we go. That wraps up the second annual Spook Show Awards. Really, I mean, there's not much more to say, right?
Yeah, this was awesome. You know,
a lot of good debate.
Yeah, another year of horror and cult and canon and crap.
Yeah. We added. This got to be the biggest year of growth for the podcast for sure.
No question.
As far as what we've added to it and everything, and what we've done, you know.
Yeah, and we'll get more into that. Really being retrospective of everything that we've been able to do over the past year when we do the 4th anniversary show on Halloween. But yeah, there's no question this is without a doubt been the biggest year of the Spook Show in the almost 4 years that we've done this. And like we always say at the end of the anniversary episode, on to bigger and better things, even past what we've been able to do. So here's to the continued growth. And of course, you know, it's always a good time to do the Spook Show Awards. And all these movies, all these people, all these things have been, debated. And they're all deserving of what we've handed out here. Whether it was the flaming turds of the Craftsperpiece Theater all the way up to the best of the Evil Dead. So really not much left to say as far as that's concerned. But one more announcement before we head out. Next week, you know, since we are in the big month of October here, we like to call this kind of our Super Bowl season, if you will. Spooky month. However you want to phrase it. Next week, we have a big special episode going down. We're going to have some of the guys from Cinema 9 podcast on next week. We've had Travis Roy on before. Donnie, I don't know if you remember exactly. That was earlier. No, that was last year, wasn't it? It's been a while.
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah,
I think it was August last year.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that was when we wrapped up Summer of the Wolf when Travis Roy came on. He's kind of the head guy, or you know, however you want to look at it, over on the Cinema 9 podcast. But at least him and one of the other guys, right? Maybe all three. I'm not sure exactly who's going to show up.
Yeah, we're going to be we're going to have Eric and Travis on from Cinema 9. You know, two out of 3 isn't bad. So you know, we got 2 of the 3 guys. So
and if you were wondering, and I'm sure you are, what the hell are we going to do with these guys? What are we watching? Well, we're going to be watching Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night from 1995. So
I remember when this came out.
This ought to be pretty good. Hopefully, you know.
Yeah.
I know sometimes our schedules don't all, you know, mix, but hopefully all 4 of us will be there with the Cinema 9 crew, you know, whatever, you know, combination of guys we get from over there, and we're going to have a big mega episode crossover with those guys. And we're going to sit down and we're going to watch, you know, not all in the room at the same time, not a, you know, viewing kind of thing, but we're going to talk about and watch Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night from 1995. So I'm looking forward to that. Another cool special thing that we have here for the month of October. And we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves with more big announcements, so I'm just going to leave it there for now. But trust me, we've got at least one other one up our sleeves before we get to the 4th anniversary episode at the end of the month. So I guess that's it, guys. So another successful Spook Show Awards in the books. We want to thank all the nominees for showing up, but only the winners can walk away with the statues. So,
also, do want to say thank you to our patrons and those that vote on the polls, our social polls, even for the Crapsterpiece ones.
Yeah.
Just
like we always say, look, honestly, you owe us for that crap because, look, you need to go become a patron of the show because we have to we put this stuff up, you guys vote for it, and then we have to sit there and watch it and talk about it. So please just give us
whole $5 a month.
Yeah, just give us a little bit, and then you can come listen to all the archives of cool stuff that we have over there, and that you can justify the existence of us having to watch those Crapsterpiece movies. So. Yeah.
No, seriously, thank you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Everyone that's ever given us anything over, the time, and you give your hard-earned money and time to listen to the podcast, whatever.
We appreciate y'all.
We definitely appreciate it, and we'll go over that some more on the 4th anniversary show. So, for Donnie, Will, Professor Smoke, I'm Josh. We are the All-American Spook Show podcast. We'll talk to you next week for Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night.
As you leave the theater, folks, please be careful. Don't let this happen to your car. Be sure to remove the speaker before you leave. If you should accidentally pull a speaker loose, please turn it in at our snack bar or box office. Thank you.